The ancient fortress. The monastery's ancient fortress is located on the right after you enter the western gate. Our fathers, the monks, used the fortress as a place of refuge from Berber attacks. This fortress is unique because it was built with 4 stories instead of the traditional 3 stories. It is rectangular in shape and its dimensions are 14 metres long, 13 metres wide and 18 metres high. It stands tall at the front of the monastery, and from a distance it looks like the mast of a ship, which supports the tradition that the monastery was built to resemble Noah's Ark. The fortress was built during the middle of the 9th century and is considered the tallest fortress in the surrounding wilderness of Shiheet. The entrance is on the 2nd story. Narrow stone steps, restored in 2003, lead across a wooden drawbridge to a small door in the fortress. The 3rd story of the fortress is subdivided into a southern and northern section. The southern section contains a church named after the Archangel Michael. It is divided into 2 main east-west sanctuaries. Each of the altars in the sanctuaries has a new marble covering over the ancient altars. The northern sanctuary is consecrated in the name of the Archangel Michael, and the other in the name of the heavenly hosts. The chapel ceiling is made of 4 beautiful domes, which rest on a central pillar. Inscribed on the domes is the name of the builder, Master Ibrahim El-Ghori. In 1782, a small picture of the Last Supper was added. In the sanctuary of the Archangel Michael, the domed ceiling transitions from a circle to a square by the use of brick arches decorated with Moqanas work and resting on engaged pillars. The northern side. On the northern side of the monastery is a cell that faces the door of the church. When he was a monk at the Syrian monastery, this cell was occupied by Pope Shenouda III. May God preserve his life and standing for us. He occasionally visited this cell when he became pope. There are 2 ground floor openings to the fortress located on its northern wall. One leads to the upper levels. Because it also contains 2 sanctuaries, one named for the Saints Severus and Dioscorus, and one for the saintly apostles. Both sanctuaries contain an icon of Christ the Almighty, Pantocrator, and the sanctuary named after the apostles has a red brick arch over its entrance. There is a second cell located on the northern side of the church, similar to the cell on the 3rd floor.
Father Faltaus al-Siriani, the monk,
It contains a few cells and one sanctuary on its western side, named after St. Samuel the Confessor. The Church of St. Samuel the Confessor has a narrow nave with 2 entrances on either side that lead to monks' cells. There is a beautifully designed staircase built between 2 walls. Each step is constructed from 3 stones, one embedded in each opposite wall and meeting in the middle, supporting the 3rd stepping stone. The next step is supported by both the walls and the step below it. The construction of the fortress provided an opening on the first and second stories that leads to an inner room used by the monks for refuge in times of attack. A stone ladder is built into the walls to provide a means of getting back out. There is a second bridge located on the first floor, with a secret opening underneath the entrance, which is 5 meters deep and leads to the bottom of the fortress. This secret opening was used whenever a sudden attack occurred, and there was not enough time for the monks to lift up the gate of the fortress. There are many rooms in the basement that are used for storage. The southern side contains a double room that, it is said, used to be used for the storage of grain. Lupin beans and old vessels are some of the common things stored in the rooms. The well, located in the basement of the fortress, was a common fortress architectural feature and was used in times of attack by the Berbers or Bedouin. Now it is used as a storage space. The walls of the rooms are not in their original state because burial tombs have been added. Some still contain relics of the old monks, but the bodies have been transferred to the main cemetery of the monastery.